record myself. 2 times 5 is 10. I carry my 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus the 1 that I carried. That makes 5. And then 2 times 4 is 8. So that's my first partial product. Because it's a 2-digit number, I should have 2 partial products. So I'm going to cross out everything I just used and put a placeholder here. Now I'm going to take my tens digit and multiply it by every top number. So 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 4 is 4. I add those 2 partial products together. Once I add them together, I end up with 5,100. Okay, now I want you to pay attention to what's going to be different whenever I multiply by a 3-digit number. Okay, on the first one, we know that multiplying by 1 digit just gives me the answer, so that's just one product. But when I multiplied by 2 digits, I have 2 partial products. How many partial products do you think I'll have for a 3-digit? I will have 3. Okay, so here's what that's going to look like. I'm going to make it pretty big so that you guys can see it better on the board. We're going to start the same way we did with the ones digit. So I'm going to start with the 2 and multiply by all of my top numbers. So 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 and 2 makes 4, plus the 1 I carried is 5. And then 2 times 4 is 8. So that is my first partial product. I'm going to cross everything out I just used and put a placeholder 0. Only 1 because I've only multiplied the ones digit. Now I multiply the tens digit right here, the 1. So I'm going to do 1 times all the top numbers. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. I'm going to cross everything out that I just used, which is just the 1. And how many 0 placeholders do you think I need this time? 2. And then I start multiplying the 3 times all of the top numbers. So 3 times 5 is 15, carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus that 1 makes 7. And then 3 times 4 is 12. And then you add it all up. Yep. So that makes 10, carry my 1. This is where I see a lot of mistakes made as you get lost in your adding. Don't forget that 1 that you carried, so that's going to be 16. Carry a 1 again. That makes 12. Carry a 1 again. This makes 3, and then 1. So 132,600. Okay, I know the concept may be easy to some of y'all, and you're like, that's simple. I'm just adding one more row. Here are the 2 most common things I notice when we make mistakes. First, we forget the 2 0 placeholders in that 3rd row. Okay, you just do 1, or you forget them all together. The second most common thing I see is we forget to carry our tens digit over. So like, for example, when I'm adding up a column here, I forget to carry up my 1 so that I can add it to the next column. Okay, or same thing up here. I forget to carry that 1 over and I forget to add it in. Bo?
Whenever like we're done with this and we move on to 4 numbers, would you have to have like 4 and then 4, so you can't have like a 3-digit number and then a 4?
Okay, so great question. Bo's asking, and if we multiply by a 4-digit number, do I need to have at least 4 on the top? You would, because you always want to put the number that has the most digits on top. So it would have at least 4. It could be 5 digits times 4 digits, but it would have to be at least 4. That's a good question. Okay, we're going to keep on moving. So let's look at the next page. Okay, they've given you several examples here, and they're showing you again that you can use estimation to check your answer for reasonableness. So if you notice, it says in our example to find the product of 415 times 126, and they rounded to make it easy. They said, well, 415 is close to 400. I can do 400 times 130. And so my answer is going to be around 52,000. After they work it all out and they're showing you all of the steps, I've got my first partial product here for the ones digit. After I multiply the 2 times all the top numbers, here's my second partial product. Then I take the 1 in the hundreds and I multiply it by all of the top numbers. That's my third partial product. Then I end up with my final answer over here. And it is close to that estimated answer. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right, let's look at those examples at the bottom then. Let's do numbers 1 and 3 together. So I'm going to color code again. If you want to use red pen and pencil and alternate so that you can have it color-coded, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to start here with my 1. 1 times all of the top numbers. That means my first partial product should be 2, 0, and 4. Everybody with me so far? If you're going ahead of me, that's okay too if you feel good. All right, so I'm going to mark that out and put a 0 placeholder. Now I'm going to multiply the 2 times all of my top numbers. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 0, 0, and 2 times 4, 8. Is everybody with me still? Okay, I'm going to cross that one out. I'm going to put 2 0 placeholders this time. And now I'm going to multiply my last 2, which is in my hundreds place, by all of the top numbers. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then 0, and then 8. And I add it all together. And I should have 88,842. Do y'all want to try number 2? And then I'll check it with you. Okay. Check your first partial product with your group mates. Make sure that you're on the same page. Then do the next one, check. Do the third one, check. And then add it and check. And then we'll all check it together in just a second. On number 2, you're going to have those 3 partial products again because you're multiplying by a 3-digit number on the bottom. My first partial product should be 1280. My second is 6400, and my third is in green, and it's 128,000. I've got those 2 0 placeholders there. The important thing is, do we understand the process? Because if we understand the process, then we just need to make sure that we're doing the computation right. Okay, if we know that we've got to add those 0 the heroes, it's just practice, practice, practice. It's repetition at this point. Okay, so if you've already moved on to number 3, here's what you should have had. 2 and 9 make 18, but you got to carry that 1. That makes 7 total after you add the 1, and then 8. So 878 is your first partial product there. Then you cross everything out, put your 0 the hero. Then 6 and 9 makes 54, carry your 5. 6 and 3 makes 18, plus the 5 is going to be 23. Carry my 2 above the 4. And then 6 times 4 is 24, plus that 2 is going to make 26. So that second partial product is going to be 26,340. Do you see why I use different colors? And I said you can alternate. If you want to use pencil, red pen, if you want to use a third color, that's okay too. I'm going to mark everything out that I just used. And I'm going to put 2 0 the heroes. Now I'm going to multiply the 4 by all of the top digits. So 4 and 9 makes 36, carry my 3. 4 times 3 makes 12, plus the 3 that I just carried is 15. And then 4 times 4 is 16, plus the 1 that I carried is 17. This one's much bigger numbers, and there's a lot of carrying. There's a lot of room to make a simple little computation mistake. You have to go slow. You've got to be careful. Okay, I'm going to add this all together. Here's another place where we can make a simple mistake in the addition part. Going slow will benefit you. And you should have ended up with 202,818. Okay, do y'all want to try 4, 5, or 6?
4.
Okay, let's do 4. Okay, they've taken away my partial product boxes, so I'm just going to write it in on my own. They're kind of giving you a little bit more freedom now. So I'm going to keep my same color order I've been going in, and I'm going to start with red, and I'm going to start with that 5. So 5 times all of my top digits. 5 times 6 is what? 30, carry the 3. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3, 23. Carry my 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 2 that I carried, 17, carry a 1. And then 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 1 makes 11. So that's my first. That'd be like if I just had to multiply that number by 5, I would be done. Question? Let's finish this, and then if you need to go see Miss Hamlin, you can if it's bothering you. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to mark every one of these things out. Why do you think I want to mark all of those out? Why am I crossing out all of those things that I carried?
So you won't get
That
mixed
you
up.
don't like.
So I
do it
don't get
again.
confused. Yeah, I don't want to get confused in my next round of multiplication. So now I'm going to start with my 2. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 1 that I carried, that makes 9. 2 times 3 right here is 6. And then the last is 2 times 2, which is 4. Keeping it lined up is super important. On your practice page, I have it on grid paper so that you can put a number in every single square so that you're not getting it confused, okay? The last one, I'm going to cross out anything I just used for that 2, and now I'm going to put 2, 0, the heroes down here. All right, now I'm going to multiply the 1 times all the top numbers. This one will be easy. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 2 is 2. Last thing I do is add it all together. I'm going to put my final answer down here. 3 plus 2 is 5. This column here, 7 plus 9, that's 16 plus another 6 makes 22. Carry a 2 right here. Again, most common mistakes I see are with that carrying. Sounds funny. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 6 and 4 makes 10, so that's 13. Carry the 1. Then I'm going to add this column. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And then I have a 2. So it should be 293,250. Okay. We have plenty of time. Great. Good. Okay, we've got about 20 minutes. We're going to stop here on our practice. Because I have a practice page for you. Okay. If you need more practice, you have all of this in your book available to do.